Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. On behalf of Barry Platte Real Estate, we'd love to welcome you to the auction here today with this beautiful property positioned here at Unit 1, number 33 Sesame Street here in Mount Waverley. For those of you that I haven't had the privilege of meeting, my name is Munafo and I'll proudly be your auctioneer. Assisting proceedings today, part of the area's most active and progressive auction squad. We've got the listing agents, Jack over here, we've got Ernest, we've got Sarah, we've got Alan, we've got Ryan as well. They may have also had the privilege and opportunity of meeting throughout the course of the campaign. The contracts as displayed have been prepared by Swan Hill Conveyancing Services. We sincerely believe that everything that you need to know about the property has certainly been encompassed into the documentation. The particular sale read that the property is legally described, certificate of title as volume 11026, folio 669. It's a lot of numbers, ladies and gentlemen, but what it simply means is we're selling the land, together all the improvements known to us all here today as Unit 1 at number 33 Sesame Street here in Mount Waverley. The goods, the shadows, the things that will be staying with the property, should you be the lucky purchaser here today, are all fixed floor coverings, curtains, blinds and electric light fittings as inspected. The next thing to talk about is the price. What is it worth? Well, that'll be determined by your bidding here today. If you are the successful purchaser, we'll call upon you to sign a contract to sale and pay a deposit equal 10% on the fall of the contract. And the balance payable, sorry, I just said that, very flexible, 30, 60, even up to 90 days from today's date, unless prior arrangements have been made with an agent. The vendor statements, otherwise known as the Section 32, shows the rates for the City of Monash to be a very reasonable $1,509.75 and Yarra Valley Water of $701.92. Obviously, water by usage is an additional amount. As you'd expect, all services including electricity, gas, telephone, water and sewerage are either connected or available to the property. And the zoning is a residential zoning, Schedule 3, ladies and gentlemen, which is one of the highest and best forms of zonings you can achieve in Melbourne at this point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am obliged to read through the rules of auction as part of the auction proceedings, and they are as follows. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offer the property after the property has been knocked down to that successful bidder. Make that very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Once I declare the property on the market, once the contract hits my hand, property will be sold. So if you're here to bid with confidence. Make sure I see your hand, yell it out to me, I don't mind, because make it very clear I cannot and will not take any bids once the property has been sold. The vendors have a reserve price and may add an extremely realistic one. As an auctioneer, I'll indicate bidders upon request. The law prohibits false bids and prohibits major disruptions by bidders and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and does provide fines for this conduct. The rules permit vendor bid. The words I use during the auction to indicate I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid. By law, only I as the auctioneer can make that vendor bid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the documentation. Are there any questions at all? Happy to help if I can. No, very straightforward. Let's talk about the property then. Unit 1, number 33 Sesame Street here in Mount Waverley. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're in an opportunity of wandering through this amazing property prior to the auction commencing, so I don't plan to walk you through the home room by room, but there's certainly some things I feel I need to highlight and also mention. I know that you'll notice the home accommodates 3 great sized bedrooms, 2 of them finished off with the built-in robes, while the master offers its own walk-in robe and the luxury of its own private bathroom and toilet. The modern kitchen is light and bright and ready to cook up a storm, finished with large bench tops and quality stainless steel appliances, boasting the breakfast bar, giving the home sense of folk living. There's also a generous mix of those living zones, whether it's formal or family, from dining as well as family. There sure is enough room for the whole family to enjoy. And all this inviting you through those sliding doors to the private outdoor garden area. Certainly very low maintenance for you all to enjoy. There's also the double lock-up car accommodation just at the rear of the home with auto door and arrival, so you and your vehicles are protected from the elements of the weather. But what makes this home special certainly includes the area that falls in. It's no secret, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest driving forces behind the enormous demand for property in this position is certainly schooling. Whether it's primary or secondary, whether it's government or private schooling, there sure is a great list of some of Melbourne's leading schools to choose from. And also, not forgetting, falling within, or double zoned, so offering the Mount Waverley North Primary as well as the Mount Waverley Secondary School Zone here as well. So certainly take that into consideration when bidding here today. We're walking distance transport. When I say walking distance, literally at the end of the street. The trams aren't that far away. So for most of you, consider this position very convenient when you take into account we're probably about 20 to 25 minutes away from the city via the easy access on the Monash freeway. In terms of shopping, in terms of restaurants, we've got the Sindel Road shops, literally almost at your doorstep. We've also got the Mount Waverley Shopping Village, the Glen Shopping Centre, Burwood 1, Chatson's Shopping Centre, ladies and gentlemen, moments away. So in terms of shopping, we've obviously got that covered here as well. Well, if you're an investor, what are you looking for? You're certainly looking for a location that we've touched on. You're also looking for an opportunity for great return. We've got Deakin University, Monash University, literally kilometres from where we're standing here today. So in terms of rental, you'll never have any problems finding any tenants. When you proudly market home this quality, you quickly understand that a home, a position, and certainly a location like this does tick all the boxes. So, if you're a first home buyer entering the market for the first time, a professional couple excited for the conveniences of this popular location, I guess an investor, like we touched on before, looking for a rock solid investment, or a downsizer looking at getting into something that's a little bit more feasible. This home accommodates you all with open arms. Before I ask for your spirited bidding, ladies and gentlemen, just want to remind you all that the bidder, the first person to bid here today, will receive a fine bottle of wine as our way of saying well done, trying to take control in your destiny. I guess your destiny here today is securing the property. That's enough from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in your hands. Who'd like to start me off? A fair and reasonable start. That's very quick. How much, sorry? 900. 900. It's not a bit lighter, but I'll take you bidding at 900. Welcome to the bidding. We hope you're there at the end. At 900,000, I'm fairly bid. At 900,000, I'll take a 50 from here if you like. At 900,000, I'm fairly bid. Great buying at this sort of price, I'm sure it'll agree. At 900,000, I'll call it down. At 900,000, just the two of us in at the moment. At 200,000, can I call it 50, bring me up to 950. At 200,000, 900,000, I'll call it down. At 900,000, I'll call it down 3 times. At 900,000, we have the first call at 900,000. Second call at 900,000. Third call at 900,000. We're all done, all finished, all sold at the 900,000. In your hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's a quiet area you'll be buying into. I'm in 50s, I'll tell you what, I'll take a 20 if it makes it easier. How many 20? 20? Good decision, you're back on top of 920,000. Quick bids are good bid, make it 40, make it even 50. At 920,000, I'm fairly bid. At 920,000, that's your competition, sir. At 920,000, come with me at 40. Come with me at 50, even better. At $920,000, I'll call it down. At 920,000, we have for the first call at 920. Second call at 920. Third call at 920. All done, all finished, all silent at the 920. Come with me, sir. At 920,000, best position. At 920,000. At 920,000, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome to join in. At 920,000, I'm fairly bid. At 920,000, I'll take it 20 to make it fair for all of you. At 920,000, I'll call it down. At 920,000, we're for the first call at 920. Second call at 920.
940 here.
940, welcome to the bidding. At 940,000, 960 can I say, or 960 over here as well. At 940,000, I'm fairly bid. 3 of you in it at the moment. At 940,000, I'll call for a 60. At 940,000, I'll call it down. At 940,000, we have for the first call at 940. 60, I thought that. I just saw the number over here and I thought I might have been wrong. At 960,000. At 960,000, I'll call it down. At 60, we have. At 60, best position right now. At 960,000, we have for the first call at 960. Second call at 960.
980.
980. Welcome back at 980,000. You're back on top. At 980,000. At 900,000, I'll take a 20. Bring me to that magical one because we'll get there anyway. At 980,000, I'll call it down. At 980,000, we have the first call at 980. Second call at 980. Third call at 980. Are we all done? All finished? All silent at the 980? You're with us at the start. What do you guys say? Put your back in front. Yes? I'll tell you what, I'll take you 10, I'll give you the same opportunity. At 990, we're nearly there. At 990,000, I'm fairly bid. At 990,000, I'll extend it to you all. At 990,000, I'll take a 10 to bring me up to the magical 1. And a million straight back, and then back on top, make it a million to 10. And a million we have. And a million, call it down. Too early to say that. 10 will put you back on top. And $1 million, call it down 3 times. First call at the magical 1. Second call and $1 million. Third call and $1 million. Are we all done? All finished? All silent at the $1 million? Can I tempt you now? Prime position right now. Yes? No? Don't think about what you're paying today. Think about what it's worth tomorrow. In 12 months. 2 years' time. It's only win-win from here. And $1 million, I'll take your 10. Yes? $1 million, I'll call it down. First call at $1 million. Second call at $1 million. Third call at $1 million. Are we all done? All finished? All silent at $1 million? Can I tempt you at all? Yes? Is that a yes for a bid or? No, that's very quick. $1 million, I'll call it down. First call at $1 million. Second call at $1 million. Third call at $1 million. All done, all finished, all silent at $1 million. Can I tempt you at all now? Great time to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm forced to pass the property, which I'm sure we won't, but if we are to, make sure you're holding that last bit because it'll give you solid exclusive price and coming in and talk to our vendor about meeting a price. Our vendor wants a result, they want to see a sold sign on the board. So I'm sure if you take that privilege, you're coming inside, you'll be walking out with a sold sign. $1 million, best position right now, it's over here. $1 million 10, good decision. At $1 million 10, you're back on top, $1 million 20, can I say? $1 million 10 over here to catch you now. 10 will put you back in front. At $1 million 10 I have. At $1 million 10 I'll give you the same advice over here. At $1 million 10 I'll call it down 20, good decision. At 20 we have 30, can I say? It's against you now. At $1 million 20 it's against you. At $1 million 20 I'm fairly bid. At $1 million 20 it's over here, it's against you now. At $1 million 20 it's over here. Yes, make it 30, 10 will put you back in front. It's only money. At $1 million 20 I'll call it down. First call at $1 million 20.
30.
30, good decision, you're back on top. 40, can I say? Even better, make it 50 because we'll probably get there. At $1 million 30, I'm fairly bid. First call at $1 million 30. Second call,
40.
40, good decision. At $1 million 40 we have. At $1 million 40, am I missing anyone at all? At $1 million 40, I'm fairly bid. 50, can I say? 40's over here, 50 would be the next bid. At $1 million 40 I have. Make it 50. 50, can I say? 40's over here, it's against you. Look at what you could be buying. Prime area, highly sought after, double school zoned. At $1 million 40, fairly bid right over here. First call at $1 million 40. Second call at $1 million 40. Third call at $1 million 40. We all done, all finished, all silent at $1 million 40.
50.
50, good decision. At $1 million 50, you've just got there. At $1 million 50, it goes to you now. At $1 million 50, 60 would be the next bid. At $1 million 50, quick bid's a good bid, sir. At $1 million 50, 60. 60, good decision. At $1 million 60, it goes to you now. At $1 million 60, I'm fairly bid. At $1 million 60, you might have done it just then. At $1 million 60, I'll call it down 3 times and 3 times only. First call at $1 million 60. Second call at $1 million 60. Third call at $1 million 60. Are we all done? All finished? All silent at $1 million 60? Can I tempt you at all? Don't do that to this. Like I was saying before, don't think about what you're paying today. Think about what it's worth in 2 years, 3 years. It's only a win-win scenario. It's such a prominent, popular location. At $1 million 60, I'm fairly bid. It's against you now. First call at $1 million 60. Second call at $1 million 60. Third call at $1 million 60. Are we all done? All finished? All silent? Are we missing anyone at all? Over here, can I tempt you at all now? Head towards pointy end. $17, Good decision, $1,070,000. New fresh bidding over here on my left, and $1,070,000 fairly bid, and $1,070,000 is against you now, and $1,070,000 call it down, and $1,070,000 is against you, and $1,070,000 I'll call it down 3 times, and $1,070,000 we have for the first call, and $1,070,000. Second call, and $1,070,000. Third call, and $1,070,000. Are we all done, all finished, all sold, and $1,070,000?
Is that 5?
5. I'll tell you what, we're on the market, we're selling, so I'll take your 575 we have. And $1,075,000, 80 straight back. And $1,080,000 is against you now. And $1,080,000, 85 will be the next bid. And $1,080,000 over here, it's against you. And $1,080,000 I'm over here. And $1,080,000, 85 can I say? 85? Yes. 80, yes. $1,080,000, it's against you.
85.
85, good decision, 85 we have. 90 straight back. At $1,090,000, first one to get to 1.1 I feel. At $1,090,000 I'll call it down, it's against you now.
95.
95, yes, 95 we have. At 95 I'll call it down. $1,095,000. Yep, at 1.1. At 1.1 I'll call it down, best position right now, it's against you now. And at 1.1 I'm fairly bid. At 1.1, obviously the 5s aren't working, make it 10. At $1,000,000, 1.105. 05, I heard that as well. At 1.105, 111 we have. At 1.11, at 1.11, 115. One, two would be even better. I'm in your hands, you've done all the running. First call at 1,110,000. Second call at 1.11. Third call at 1.11. All done, all finished, all silent. Don't do that. Definitely out. Thank you for your bidding. Over here. Definitely. Looks like you may have done it. I'll call it down 3 times and then we're selling. First call at 1.11. Second call at 1.11. Third call at $1,110,000. All done, all finished, all silent. Well, the property's going. Definitely. Sure. You out? Need to be fair over here. Make it your last one. 5 ball. At 5 ball, we nearly had it. At 1,115,000. 15, 20 straight back. 20 we have. Certainly know your values. At 20, at 1,120,000, it's against you again. I'm not sure what to do. Say that. Yes, no. At 1,120,000, prime position right now. We're selling, ladies and gentlemen. First call at 1.12. Second call at 1.12. Third call at 1.12. All done, all finished, all silent. Well, the property's going. Sure. Sold. Congratulations and welcome to the neighbourhood.
Thank you.
I'm just going to quickly run over and we'll go with hot. Roll off the tongue. Yeah. How you doing? Hey.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So I did catch your name. I'm Christine. Christine first. And Brendan.
Brendan.
Brendan.